Hello, everybody. Good morning. You've got the Lady Hippie, and we are still at the bar. Entertainment purposes only. I'll be here all week. I hope. You may not think so. Yeah, I fidget. I always fidget when I get here. So, I hope everybody's having a good day. I see that's going to be on the way a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, I don't like it in the vein. I'm the sound mixer. Yeah, and the guest star and the host and the sound mixer and the wardrobe, makeup. Yeah. Let's see, guys. I had initially wanted to pop through this morning to say, hey, everybody, it's coming up on my birthday, so I'll probably be a few days off air. And again, I have taken a few days. I took yesterday. Long story. What we used to call in the Army PPs, personal problems. Yeah, it was one of those days. It was to get my husband back from the hospital, then run around to different places to get his medication filled because this one didn't have it and this one did. Trying to figure out if I'm going to keep the Walmart Plus, folks. I tried it for that 30-day month trial to see if you want to have it. And initially I did. And then they started leaving my things either undelivered or set it on the curb, which is like a half an acre from the house. And you put anything on the curb, it's like, I'm free. So, of course, I was extremely irate and went after them yesterday as well. I found time. Don't ask how. I even managed to pop in here for a bit. I ordered a pair of house shoes 3 weeks ago. That's not the bad part. What they don't tell you, and I hope my viewers will look indeed if they are Walmart Plus members or any other Plus member. When you order something on there, if it's not coming from them, then there goes your free shipping. So you could be charged anywhere from $9 to $15 for shipping costs. And as you're wanting to look at that, it'll say, place your order. Well, when you place your order, that's it. There's no turning back. There's none of that stuff. You can't change anything. Can't add promo codes. They gave me $10 of a coupon off of my orders from whenever I used it or wanted to until November 4th. It's just nice. I didn't want anyone in trouble. I just wanted to say, okay, I'm old. I have a bad back. That's why I used you. Husband in hospital. You made my day a lot worse. I had to literally pick up 80 pounds, a half an acre from my home, and walk back with to get it inside and off the curb. And of course, I have paid for that, which is pretty much why I've been taking a day off here or there, like yesterday. Or maybe I didn't. I can't even recall myself. I was in so much pain. I was in horrendous pain yesterday, actually the day before as well. As I said, I haven't even got the house shoes I ordered, right? I went around to these places, to get the things filled and so forth. Now, I ordered sugar because they said they didn't have any more in their warehouse. So I ordered these Domino's sugar, the expensive one. 3 weeks later, I'm still waiting on that shit to get here. Yeah, sugar. When I checked the tracking on that sucker, it came from Flamin', New York. I'm surprised they have a warehouse in New York as bad as it looks lately. Yeah, they have said there are several cities in the United States that are just squalor now, just total squalor. LA is one, San Francisco's one, Seattle's one, Austin's one. There's nothing but tents and debris and human excrement. They've taken to turning on fire hydrants, leaving porta potties, but that doesn't take care of the needles and the fear of actually going into a store or restaurant, in particular in New York. They found that those mopeds work good. I don't know what they're called, those scooters, even motorized bicycles. Yeah. So they're using those and they go along and they just take people's stuff as they pass them. They can't be caught. Apparently they don't have people on mopeds that are part of the law enforcement team. So that's, great way to go around people. They didn't take long to figure that out. These are all migrant people. They're all immigration. These aren't the New Yorkers. They can't speak English, or they can. They don't want to. They're being given accommodations from 6 to 8 months free in hotels. Well, that's good business for a hotel. I could tell you that exactly what that's about. They're guaranteed that it's full occupancy every day. and they get paid by the government to do it, a very good payment from the government. I don't know when people, besides the Irish and a lot of the British people, are now complaining and protesting about this. There are still people, in particular, Ireland is addressing the situation very well. They have never helped their own people out like this. Same with us. They never put homeless veterans up in hotels or homeless anybody from the United States up in hotels for 6 to 8 months. No, those people are just, oh, well, they're homeless. But you can bring migrants here to the tune of nearly 10 million of them and stick them in hotels and all these other places you've converted into them. Well, who's going to take care of the fact that they, like New York is a good example. There are hardly any stores left. There's no Targets, none of that. Um, Starbucks, the last one, closed down, and it's because of theft. And they had homeless people. So you were stepping over homeless people to get in there. And if you came out with that coffee, some guy in a moped was passing by, grabbing your wallet, your purse, your phones, your jewelry, everything. And they might actually slow down long enough just to take your pocketbook or what have you. Most of them are running these things and they're coming up and holding knives on people and telling them, give your shit. The outdoor cafes was a perfect thing just to ride by and take what they wanted. They've done this with stores. They've done this with laundromats. They've done this with just about anything that has money associated with it. Now, in New York, yeah, I think you have to spend or steal $1,000 for it to be worth charging you. I don't know. But again, if you are homeless and you live in the United States and you were reared in the United States, you're just cracking out the luck. The 10 million illegal immigrants that are here that are killing people, that are stealing from people, that are abusing people, that are raping women and killing women, those people are fine. You can put them up at the hotel. When the hell does everybody go? No, wait a damn minute. Now, they're very open about the fact that it's our taxes that pay for this. Oh, I didn't sign up for that. How'd y'all sign up for that? Well, it's your generation that's going to have to stop it or watch your kids grow up in a place like Escape from New York. Somebody should see that movie in New York because this is just dead spot on. The president plane goes down, they chunk him out the emergency thing, he lands in New York. Only New York is now simply a prison. So the idea is they can do Snake Plissken, I think it was played by Kurt Russell, to go in. They put a bomb in his head. So if you don't get back in X amount of hours, 72 hours, whatever it was, poof, your head blows off. Yeah, so he has to go in and find the president and get the freaking president out of New York City alive. The entire city is now a prison. They can't beat people out. They can chunk in a few extra ones. Watch the movie. And if that's not exactly what it looks like today, I will eat my hat. And I have a lot of hats. And it's not just here. It's not just this city, that city, this city, that city. It's every free nation in the world that has accepted these immigrants, in particular from the Middle East. I'm not trying to pick on anybody here. It's just as bad as if they're coming from Guadalajara. I don't know. Point being, these people everybody's screaming about the Palestinians have to be free, yada, yada. Well, at what point do these jackasses go, hey, why wouldn't any other Muslim or Arabic peoples in any country there in the Middle East take these Palestinians in? Well, there's why. They're thieves, they're scumbags, they're lowlifes, they're hoarders, they're filthy. And so they don't let them in. But you guys have let them in all over the world. That bleeding heart thing, oh, we just got to help. Really? Help your own damn citizens first. They paid taxes until they come back from the army or whatever war or whatever service they were in to find out that, well, either the wives or the husbands had chunked them for everything they had, that the system didn't help them at all anymore, regardless of whether they lost a leg, a life, whatever. Good luck with that. And that's not just here. It's Canada, it's Britain, it's Ireland, Scotland, it's Denmark, it's Sweden, it's Switzerland, it's Norway. It's everybody that is a free nation. And many of them had now come together and realized, even those who only took in a few thousand, that these people are literally not just biting the hands that feed them. They've chopped off the hands that fed them, did it on live, and sent it to their families. Any of these idiots have any clue to what it is they're protesting. I don't think they would. I don't know. But I keep saying bring it because I would love to find out why you guys are still sitting up there going, hey, we got to help these people, these baby killers, these murderers that locked up babies' heads. Now, this is not just somebody making this shit up. This is somebody who's seen the footage. These people uploaded this footage to if it was a baby, then they sent it to the grandparents, whoever they weren't killing at the time, whatever family was listed on the phone. They sent this to them. There is no doubt about what was done on October 7th in Israel. No doubt whatsoever. You idiots can keep going. Well, we don't see that. And if they hadn't done this, no, there is no, if they didn't do this or they didn't do that or we didn't do it. There's a slaughter of almost 1,400 people in the actual taking of something of near 300. Mostly what they've recovered have been their bodies. And they don't want them to have that. So why aren't the Palestinians brought into Saudi Arabia, Dubai, pick one? Because they're freaking terrorists who live to kill people, babies included, toddlers included, the old, the young. And then they start in on those who are in the middle age bracket or even say from 20s to 60s. They're dead too. Basically, guys, they kill everything they see and everything that moves. The Israelis moved out of the Gaza Strip, even though they won that war. And they had beautiful places there. Lots of flourishing trees and crops of all kinds, complete infrastructure. There was no filth. There was no overcrowding. But because the world kept saying, well, you need to give Gaza back, they decided to do that. So they took all their people out. Then they did demolish the homes because the people were just so upset about it. And they had every reason to be. Some had been there for years, many years. So they demolished the homes, but they left the rest intact for them. The Palestinians did not pay for water. They did not pay for the electrics. They did not pay for the gas. Didn't have any rents. And most of them worked in the Israeli economy. And what good did that do? The minute the Israelis were out, they torched the fields, they burned the businesses. It was nothing but rubble when they were done. And yet people are still saying, you need to take care of the Palestinians. You are committing high court crimes, crimes against humanity, all of this. Well, they need to walk through there because they aren't. They're not. I've never seen anyone, including the United States, go after a war and tell you not only when they're coming and where they're coming at, but to give you safe corridors to get the civilians through over and 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 over. Hasn't been a year yet. Coming up. But it hasn't been a year yet. How many times do they have to say, guys, come out this way and leave? People are dying to keep those corridors open so that civilians can get the hell out. No country will take them. Not there, anyway. So they ship them to the U.S., they ship them here, they ship them there. Across Europe, how's that working out for everybody? Yeah, I didn't think it was working out too good myself. And yeah, if you say some shit about the truth, then you have to be a racist. Bring it. I think the bitches out there who are racist is the bitches calling me a racist. That's racist, telling me I can't speak because what I feel like speaking is racist. Bite me. Bite me. Yeah, bring it. You think your damn shit's so smart, huh? You show me where you're not a racist bitch, and I will eat my fracking hat. I haven't seen anything but racism going on, in particular with these illegal immigrants. They're owed everything. And if they don't get what they want, they protest in the street. When they get what they want, they protest in the streets. What the hell? Meanwhile, you're arresting people if they protest in the streets. It's the damnedest shit I've ever seen in my life. There's no doubt that this is biblical, folks. None. And it's going to get worse than that because everybody's standing back going, well, I can't say that. Somebody thinking, shut up. When good does nothing, evil flourishes. So how much more evil has to flourish before you stand your ass up and say, oh, hell, that ain't right. We don't give 6 months free rent and food and phones and clothes. These aren't just damn clothes, too. Folks, this is Nike and Adidas. I can't wear Nike and Adidas. Neither could my kids. And we made a good living. Basically, for many years, we were middle class. No, we couldn't afford that shit. And it's worse now. And yet, you look at your fucking, and I don't apologize, illegal immigrant in any of the free world countries that they've taken them into. These bitches are wearing Nikes, Adidas, so forth, Puma, so forth and so on labels. What's the population wearing that is paying for that shit? 4-year-old hoodies. That's what they're wearing. I wish the hell they would get rid of hoodies. Some of us have finally decided to say enough's enough. They don't need a fracking mask anymore. It's been 4 years. Get over it. And outlaw the mask. Because all that's doing is hiding the perpetrators if anybody decides to prosecute them. This is the other thing. It's Now, mind you, if you're an American, you don't need anything else. You're an American. You've been here for, since your parents are immigrated like me from Ireland, whatever. You're not getting that free shit. If you're homeless, well, good luck with that. Can they put you in a homeless shelter? Oh, hell no. Can they put an illegal immigrant in a homeless shelter? Yes. Immediately. That's the law. Fuck the law. Fuck the law on that shit, people. You got to stand up and tell the goddamn truth. This is ridiculous. And it's criminal. It's treasonous. It's traitorous. I can't find a good label to stick on this. I can't. It's beyond the pale. I mean, beggar off already. You're putting British people in jail because they're saying they're sick of the Palestinians marching by their house every other day while they're being taken care of for free by their very tax dollars so that they can't even afford food. But put them in jail. Don't put the illegal immigrants in jail that are doing this kind of shit. It's biblical. When you kind of see this, it's not even stupidity, it's criminal. It's criminal how they have stolen from every citizen that's in the free world country. Stolen from them. They're not told, hey, you can spend that money on these million or so immigrants to put them up for 6 months, a year, so forth. No. Did you get to vote for that? No. I don't really care what country you're in. If you're in a free world country where you can say things, where you can do this or that, protest, so forth, you're not respected at all. While they're taking your funds to pay for those that you said, stop it, don't bring them no more. We ain't got no room, we ain't got no jobs. Did it stop them? Oh, fuck no. And you rest your ass. I don't apologize for that either. This content down here is my shit. Okay, I don't make any money off this shit. And if I did, I'd still be the same way. This is me saying what I want, and I have the option to exercise that freedom. I can speak thereof what I choose. And freedom of religion, bitches, mean you don't get in our grills and tell us you have to have Sharia law. You have to have Muslim rights. No, you don't. You can take your ass back over there and have those rights all you want. Oh, no, sorry about that. No, you can't. Women can't drive. They can't be seen. It's a letterbox thing. They got eyes. And even that's behind a veil. I mean, literally, there's a grill up there. This is 115-degree heat. They're walking around with 2 babies and trying to balance their groceries on their heads. What their husband doing? On the phone, talking, laughing. If it were women and children who were emigrating to my country and to others, it might not be such a thing. But that's not who's coming. Very few women. There's some. And their kids. There's some. Apparently more from the southern borders of the U.S. than anywhere else. And mind you, people, in case you don't know your geography, New York State abuts Canada. Okay? That's another area to get in from Canada. So when everybody started having problems in the United States and saying, you can't send anywhere here, they're killing us, they're stealing from us, this and that. I mean, they'd go to work, come home, nothing left in their house. Now, if they could do all that, they didn't need somebody to goddamn pay for them. Excuse that one. Only because I could have gone in front, because I'm that irate. I've been watching this for a couple of days now, and again, it's enough. Stop arresting the people who you're stealing money from in taxpayer dollars. Stop putting them in jail and start getting them bitches out the way like that. In our country, it's supposed to be by the people, for the people. It's not been for a long time. It's supposed to be. Yeah. So what have we got? It's by the politician, for the politician. Did the politician get elected? Nobody knows. I know that the president doesn't get elected by the people. He gets elected by the Electoral College. And of course, whoever the vice president is that they call for gets to go with them. I don't think people even understand that. Like the founding fathers, say Andrew Jackson and Aaron Burr, were both elected in as vice president. Both. That's because back then it was by the people for the people. Now, Aaron Burr ended up getting stupid and he ended up killing Jackson in a duel. Look it up, people. It's American history. You're just not taught that. And Aaron Burr had to flee to France for his life. Unfortunately, his daughter rather decided to join him, and her ship went down, and she was never recovered. Terrible thing. My point being that these people used to be able to, I should say these people, all the Americans, before the Civil War, were able to elect the citizens' choice and say, this is who we voted for. They knew who that would be. It wasn't just told to you that this particular person won in the Electoral College and they get to drag that vice president with them. That's not the way it was. The vice presidency, the presidency, the Senate, the Congress, all of these were voted on by the people. Now, I keep seeing shit about Congress and stuff. For one, why is Nancy Pelosi still there at 80-something? Since when did everybody decide that you could serve as a congressman or a senator for decades? I mean, decades. She's been around since the 80s. So has Joe Biden. He's got more hair now than he had in the 80s. Yeah, I get up on my soapbox because I'm allowed to, just like you assholes. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. I don't give a shit what you say about that shit. You bring it. No. Excuse me. You can put lipstick on a pig. That's still a fucking pig. Now, you people can dress up that idiocy all you want to, but these are still murderers, rapists, thieves, literally every criminal that they could throw at you, along with as many terrorists as they could slip in under the radar. Now, I got news for y'all. If you weren't smart enough to figure that shit out, then maybe you should get that for your country. But God above, there's no way anybody's going to convince me that in all these free world countries, everybody's stupid. I just don't buy that. Oh, we need the help. We need the help. They're going to kill us. No, bitch. You doing the killing. Take your ass back. You don't like my damn country? You want to change my damn country? Get out. I don't have to be nice about it. Do you think they're nice about it when they get in somebody's face with a megaphone? Do you think it's okay to go on a college campus and do this to the Jewish students only? Get in their faces, like block them from getting indoors. Nobody stopped that. Nobody. I'm ashamed of my country. No. And I hate every one of them, just about, that say they were elected to the position because they weren't. Oh, Sleepy Joe there hijacked that shit. Yeah. Trump won, hands down. Look at how many votes that they've discovered the weeks after the election. Not just 60 or 80,000 votes, but several 100,000, maybe over millions of votes that were in waste bins and so forth and so on. Some of them did it right in front of cameras, chunking out ballots into the trash bin. Oh, no, that's not what they were doing. They were just working overtime, making sure those was right. Yeah. And then when that didn't work and he decided to run again, they kept him in courts for almost the entire 4 years that he's been trying to rerun. Yeah. What's up with that? Well, nobody wants to stand up and say, hey, this ain't right. I don't care whether he's elected or not, because, again, I don't believe it's voted in by the people. It says it's not. Just look it up. So the people are not voting for it. They're still walking around thinking they are. Yeah. In this day and age, I cannot for the life of me determine why anyone in the United States, and by the way, it was America until the Civil War, hence the United States, they piece that shit back together, just so you know, because it's not taught in the freaking school system here. But at what point, again, do people go, people, again, do not know, and it is not taught in college, in high school, nowhere. I think they're getting better efforts with the Sharia law there in these schools than they do anything else. But it's never told to you that the Electoral College votes in the president and vice president. They make that sound like they actually your votes count, so that the delegates are there to represent your vote. How the hell they know your vote? Because your vote takes place after the Electoral College. Literally, look it up. Look it up. You don't have to believe me. Look it the hell up. Google's got everything. Bing. I don't care what your search engine is. Look that shit up. And then come up here and say, yeah, you were right on the scrapping money here. I have live chat open, so if any of you don't like what I'm saying, oh, please bring it. Because I don't like what you're doing in my country. I don't like it. I'm not going to stand back and say, they're going to, don't worry, we'll get the kinks out. Screw you. Screw you. You don't belong in my country. You never came here to seek asylum. You came here to change American politics in favor of Sharia law, being Muslim. It's just like one guy said, and I won't mention his name. Yeah, well, Tommy Robertson. Shout out, babe. And in Britain, they just keep arresting that man because he's doing the same thing I'm doing, is speaking the truth. And where he was born, there was one Muslim place of worship, one. Now there's 45. And if that doesn't scream, oh shit, to you people, it ought to. Who do you think they're going to get all these things from when it goes bad? How fast do you think it'll go bad? Do you think you won't be affected by it because you're richer and you're in politics and it's okay because you want these same deadbeat immigrants from God knows where to vote for you? Well, how the hell come they get to vote? Oh, because you wanted to vote, so they got to vote. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. Vote for what? They damn sure as hell know that the presidency and the vice presidency, basically the presidency, and they jerk the vice president in with them, is not voted in for the people. Oh, they still want you to go vote because, of course, that might change something. What the hell is it going to change? I ain't seen it change nothing. And there's several times I've asked people, who'd you vote for? None of them voted for the guy who was in office. Just saying. And now they want to vote for a female. Why do you want to vote for her? Well, she's a female. She's black. What? No, she's not. She's Puerto Rican or descendant of. She's not black. No. If she is, she's one of the whitest blacks I've ever met in my life, and I have quite a few friends. And they're not going to vote for her either. So, and I hate to bust their bubbles and say, it doesn't count. I just can't do it to them. Because they're all excited about being able to change the world. We've got to vote because it's what they're seeped into their brains. They're conditioned to do from childbirth in the United States. They're not given 1/10 of the education that they should be getting. Hence the doing away of cursive writing. I don't know about you guys, but when I print, I change it because it takes me forever to print. I can scrape cursive off all day long. I have no idea what the doctors do if they can't use cursive. They have a secret language anyway. But again, dummy him down, dummy him down, dummy him down. My granddaughter is so miserable in school. I loved school. I couldn't wait for it to start again. My friends all hated me about that because I loved school. And my granddaughter's a great girl. She loves everything, everybody. She got no mean bone in her body. But this school just keeps her so sad. It scares the bejesus out of me, truthfully. She has a lot of loving support. But you can only put your kid in school where you can put your kid in school. And DC and a few other places you can pay extra or something and put them in a better district. I don't guess that's a thing that can be done in Georgia. I do not know. But I am worried for my granddaughter that she is so sad and so miserable in that school. And it just started a couple of weeks ago. She went to school at the beginning of August, right? I think the weekend or the week after her birthday. She's 12. 12. And she hates school. Even knew that what their rating was so abysmal. It's amazing they could teach anybody. When I went to school, your parents bought the stuff for you or you didn't have it. There were no tribes out there saying, well, let's give these kids free clothes, free school supplies, free lunch. No. And it was the same thing when I raised my kids. There was no free lunches. Well, you could pay for lunch, of course, but yeah, you could even try to give free lunches. But you make too much money. I made $4 an hour. Yeah, that's too much money. Yeah. But the others, especially when my kids were coming up, and again, bring it if you don't like what I'm saying, it's true. But it was the Spanish people that had the free stuff. And if you tried to get in there, you were they acted like you'd come in with a gun and tried to rob everybody. It was the damnedest thing I was seen, and it's gotten 100 million times worse. It's just, and they go, "Oh, we don't know where these people went. They don't have ID. Oh, that's because they don't have to have it to vote. They have to have it to drive a car. No, they don't, because I've been watching that too. Yeah, no insurance, no license, and they're arguing with the cop, going, we don't have to have that. It's anybody can drive. So if that person, and we've had it happen to us, totals you out in your car, the cops go, they're an immigrant. We think, we don't know. What do you mean you don't know? This happened 2 hours ago. Well, they got free in 30 minutes. Did you book them? No, not really. And again, that was the 90s. Think of it now. And I'm again seeing this. Go on YouTube, look it up. Yeah, no, the world owes them, not the other way around. They're not grateful to be here at all. They're only here because they manipulate everything and they're given all this free stuff, including rent, phones, food, you name it. The same as the Gazans had it from the Israelis. The Israelis thought, okay, we'll pay all this, we'll give them free stuff, and they won't keep attacking us. Well, wrong again. How that work out for you? Yeah, they get the same thing from Ireland, Scotland, England, Canada, United States. Everybody's giving them everything. Why should they fracking work? And if they do work, I'm surprised. No, literally, I'm surprised because what they're doing is they're undermining anybody else's work ethics. They come in here, and that's who the bosses hire because they can save all this extra money. There's no insurance. There's none of this. Not that we're ever going to get that shit back. I'd like to know after 45 years of driving and no tickets or anything else, I haven't got some of my insurance money back. Yeah, it really be that bad, man. So we just pay them. Well, yeah, we just pay them. And why? Because it's sanctified theft by the government. It's theft by the government. If you do not pay insurance companies, they come take your tag. And in the United States, if you don't have a tag, eventually uh, they can take your vehicle and everything. And if you don't do something about it fast enough anyway, they will. You aren't have a vehicle without insurance and tax. Yet every time I see this on TV, how'd they get around that shit? It's for the life of me, I don't get it. I don't know how they got around that shit. Because there are, like I said, there is like bugger off to the cops. We don't have to do that here. Yeah, they do. And what do the cops do? They're all sweet. They're all nice. They sit there, talk to them for an hour and a half. Let your ass, boy. You roll up to a cop like that, I dare you. And tell them, okay, I don't have to show you ID. I don't have a driver's license. No, I don't have insurance. We know that stuff. Well, no, you don't, because if you total out somebody else's vehicle, you're an immigrant. They can't do that to you. Is the bottom line. And that was the 90s. Think about it now, folks. That's different. I have a lot to do today, so I wasn't going to stay up here long on my soapbox. I tell everybody it's social Woodstock up here. If you don't come and see me, you don't want to talk about that. Start your own website. It's not hard. Just pull up YouTube and start going. You'll figure out from the tutorials. If you can't do that, again, pull it up on a studio part and they'll sign you, step one, step two thing. It's not that difficult. I thought it might be, but it turned out I was wrong. I can say I was wrong, but I'm wrong. It seems to be hard for people like immigrants. They're not wrong. No, they don't have to do that. They're immigrants. They don't have to, and they'll tell you that to your face. I've been watching Britain, so where they've renters. They've met them. They think they're nice people. They got 2 kids. It's a 5-bedroom thing. Okay, we need deposit. We need this, but we'll give you the first month to get on your feet. And 2 years later, the courts are still going, well, you didn't clean that, you didn't fix the water main, or whatever it is that they've broken. You didn't fix that yet. Well, they hadn't paid you the $80,000 they now owe you. on top of court costs and everything else. And the courts again will say, well, they don't have the paperwork, they said. It's terrible. Squatters' rights. There are literally squatters' rights in America as bad as the United Kingdom. And I say the United Kingdom because that could include, like Canada, everybody. And yet, no, they're not taking care of their own people. So taking care of the immigrants. And to do so, they're taking it from the legal owners to do that. Finally, the legal owner, again, and that could take 6 months, 18 months. It depends. Same here. And they're in the owner's faces going, screw you. The courts don't think so. And will not leave until finally they get it all done. They get the paperwork. They bring the bailiff out. They're still there. Well, we're still here. Well, you have to leave. You have 15 minutes to leave. Oh, no, I am still in my pajamas. I ain't even had a shower yet. And that's from the sheriff's department for the high courts to enforce that. Yeah. And even the sheriffs have to be sometimes backed up by the police. And if the police are called before that particular injunction, the police are just telling you it's a civil matter. They're not involved. About the same here. So the people who don't own it and who are not there legally and who are paying nothing legally or illegally, the case may be, depends upon the courts when you can finally drag it in front of a judge. And I have seen them say, well, we don't see this name on the paperwork or this, that, and the other. Oh, the tenant says you haven't done these. You have to fix these. The tenant won't let them in to fix those. They've even changed the locks. The minute they get the property, they change the locks. I've seen a lot of it in the UK. It's not a world I want my grandkids to grow up in or my kids. And at some point in my life, I had decided not to have children. I'm very well blessed by my son and my grandchildren, and I wouldn't have missed it for anything. Although at first I thought I would. Oh, I forgot. I put my little rosette out today to go with the flower. Isn't it cute? It's so tiny. It's got a little diamond. It's on a chain at the bottom. It's really cute. Robert is really cute. I didn't take off my other necklace. I was in a hurry. So forgive me. I'm going to fidget again. Try to hide that. It's lovely. It's ruby and diamonds on a heart. And it's a beautiful piece. I have to have real jewelry per se. It's got to be sterling silver or 24 karat, at least 24 karat, no plating. So the kids would bounce off me. Here, Mom, wear this before they would give it to their families. And now after, they're both in their 40s. So I miss that. It's just another thing. Here, Mom, try this. They did that in their teenage years up into their 20s. And I don't blame them a bit because you can go into these, they can yell at me if they want to, but it happened to my husband once to go into Kay's or any other jewelry place. And it's a 4-piece set, but it's $129. And they're thinking, that's a good set. It's not. It wasn't worth 20 cents. There's nothing to it. It's glass and copper with maybe a little gold plating or silver plating over. It's not worth 10 cents. So I had to take my husband's back, with him. And that was at Hellsburg. And they can come after me all they want. We have proof of that one, too. Seton court. Since you bitches like court so much, everybody seems to, except the poor people who are being stolen from on a damn minute basis. Huge theft. When former President Trump was in office, he didn't even take a salary, bless his heart. They were horrible to him, and yet he didn't leave a deficit behind. He left extra money there. The people had jobs, they had insurance, they had funds. He wanted to suspend the payroll tax, and those people came literally unwound. They don't want him in there because then who doesn't get paid? UN doesn't get paid because, like he said, we're tired of paying more than 15 other countries combined. We're paying who, again, who came up with the COVID-19, the Chinese virus. Now, you guys can call that shit a monkey all you want. It's still a damn monkey. I don't care. You have no problem with calling it the Spanish flu, then buck up. You can call it the China virus, and you can come see me about that anytime. Bring it. Make my day. Because I don't see anybody out there showing the other side of the coin, which is what actually irritates me more than anything. It's like, you have rights. Stand up for them. Why are your rights suddenly given to somebody who's not even in your country legally? I mean, for real. They know they're there illegally. They know it. The courts know it. They hold up for them, not the citizen. Meanwhile, the citizen's going, get them out of my frickin' country. No, they're not listening to that. Robert got me. Isn't this? It's lovely. Bless his heart. We were trying to get his medication filled the second day, and of course we used the Walmart, and you have to go in person for that. And so they didn't have them the night before at the little Walmart, the marketplace. So the next day, yesterday, we went ourselves to the bigger one. And generally, I don't drive over there. It turns out it's fairly easy to get to, which he doesn't want me to do. So we're there, and we find out we're early. It's just a bit after 9. They don't open the pharmacy till 10. So we decide to get the shopping in, first. So yeah, we get all that done, and we go back and we get this. So meanwhile, we've got groceries and everything. We don't want to get the cold stuff because we don't know how long we'll be at the pharmacy. They did pretty good. It was about 15 minutes. And by then we could go pick up the few cold items and check out and then run back and pick it up. But he still managed to get me a lovely bouquet. Isn't that pretty? It was, we call it the cripple cart, which people were laughing at. I've had to use them a few times after surgery myself. And we got that from the Army. It's the cripple cart. And he gets very dizzy still, and they're trying to regulate his thyroid, his blood pressure. So he had to. This is why I drove. He doesn't usually, and he doesn't like being the passenger. He's a professional driver, and he's taught many years classes for semi truck driving. So many years, about 10 or 15 years, he was an instructor. And so he's not good with being a passenger. And I'm over there, shut up. Go faster, shut up. So that was fun. But by the time I finally got through yesterday, I just said, they can miss me today. It was so late. By the time we got back and got something to eat, taken care of, and I had the house. I don't know how other people do it, but the house has to be cleaned every day. I didn't think I used to have to do that, but I must have done it on a subconscious level because I would be up until 7, 8 o'clock, dishes, all this stuff, making it clean. So I would leave it out the door. And I used to run home for lunch because of our dogs to take them out. So they wouldn't have to stay in the cold, the rain, the heat, none of that. They stayed at home. They were family. And I would run in and out, and I'm doing laundry in between at lunch, and I'm eating with one hand and doing stuff with the other hand. Might sweep and mop on his home if I had an hour. So that's the way I've always done it. And I tried to sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to kill myself on this stuff anymore. I'm going to do it a different way. Yeah. If you take a day off, it's like you took 4 months off. My husband is not a very good cleaner. He could be if he tried, I think. He knows, right? Why should they? They got moms, they got sisters, they got wives. So we get to do all the heavy lifting. And then they turn around, or mine does, and say, oh, you didn't do anything. You just had to clean the house today. They actually told me one time, I was having the kids actually help me out because they got allowances. And it was like, well, you're off tomorrow. You can clean it. Well, yes, that did not go down well. But I did let the kids get on the hearing because I told them they couldn't go out. And it was, oh, sure, you guys can go. She's got tomorrow off. Yeah. 4 years earlier, Rachel had decided to put I don't think you ever said that again. But yeah, we went to loggerheads over a couple of things like that. Any marriage couple will. However, like I said, even before he got ill, he was already ill with cancer before, and he beat that. But still, the heavy lifting's on me. And they go, oh, it's just housework. Well, I don't see that nappy asses out here doing that shit to you. If you do, I need to talk to you. Find out what the hell I'm doing wrong. We're coming up on a very big anniversary, 35, 40 years, whatever the hell it's been. Both of us have fought cancer. When I was fighting cancer, I never took a day off. I couldn't. If you didn't do it, your house stunk. You had 5 days worth of laundry and dishes and just clutter everywhere. I told my husband, I do believe he'd be buried in trash in about 3 weeks. It took me 3 days to clean the man cave and the adjoining ensuite bathroom. It's all white. And it took literally 3 days for me to get that clean. So I was not happy. Now, normally I don't bother to go through that. If he's in the man cave, I usually try not to bother him. All I was going to do was, strip the bedding, make sure the new bedding was on, it was all clean and vacuumed, and I was like, oh my God. And you know what he did when he got here? He took everything off the sink. I did. I took everything off and put it in the white cabinets that are over the. We bought this shelving for it. And he got home and he placed everything back on the sink. Now he's not going to clean that sink. No, I'll have to do that. And if I have to do that when I go in there, just in case he's watching, just a heads up, I will take everything that's off that sink and throw it in the freaking trash outside after I break all of it with a hammer on your bed. Then I will clean it for you. Yeah. Sometimes, ladies, you just have to go, this far and no further. There's the line. Step over it, I dare you. And I did tell him this already. Which means, of course, it went in this ear, came out that ear, and they're still gone. And I think you won't do that. Oh, we will. All these years of marriage, he thinks I won't do that. Nah, he ain't that stupid. I charge you. I'll fire up your clothes next. You will find a bonfire outside with your shit in it. I don't play nice. He knows that too. So I said I wouldn't take this long, but I have today. One landlord found out it can get a whole lot worse. But yeah, I got all this shit to do. Since he's usually in the man cave, of course I have the downstairs, which you would think would not get dirty so much. It does. Pets. I was never really a cat person. Always had chow-chows. Always had dogs. And once we lost our Smokey Bear, he was half husky, half chow. Beautiful guy. Always said, I love you to us. Literally, I love you. I can still hear it. So it's very hard for me to let go. But I know they'll be on the other side when I get there. If y'all don't think pets go to heaven, you should read more. They do. Yes, they do. I wish so many of them weren't waiting on me there. Truthfully, I wish they were still here with me, but that's very unfair of me. We lost 3 cats in the last 2 years, and this is what, mind you, our cats go to the vet, they do all that stuff, and it costs us several $1,000s a year. We couldn't save them. It's terrible. You have to let them go. Excuse me. And we always pay and bring their hashes home so that we can sprinkle where their best place was. And that's just as difficult. And even though I lost 3, I gained like 5. When I lost 3, I would have been down to, I think, 1. And y'all know we had to rescue a family of little black kittens that couldn't even eat yet. And it started roll downwards. So I'm actually, I think, going to start a GoFundMe page to see what can be done about helping them. They're always dropped off in the cul-de-sac. They're dropped off in trash bags. It's ridiculous what people will do. We've had them brought to our door in the middle of the night in a storm, and they still had an umbilical cord on them. And, we heard you will help cats. We're like, we can't do it anymore. It's too expensive now. We just can't afford it. We're retired and on a fixed income. And then, my husband would go, well, what are you going to do with them? Well, we're going to put him back on the road. So he came in with the cat. I was already in bed. And he came and go, they're going to put it back in the street. And we're like, okay, well, we've got formula here. We keep powdered formula because that's what happens. So again, I may start a GoFundMe page about this. Because I've tried every other legal means. We only have a kill shelter here in our county. There is a county that's South Carolina, like 9 miles from us. They won't accept them. All right. What's going on? Just then I heard all of them scream, and all of the ones I can see went. So a lot of people think because you have more than, say, 2 animals, that you're going to be filthy. That's not true. If you don't do anything, yeah, I'm sure there is. These guys all have mats, and there's my. You can maybe see his tail. No, he got out of there. That was Fancy. He's a huge cat with lots of fur. He's orange and white. And then there's our kid who's black and white. Both of those are our biggest cats, and they have a lot of fur, a lot of long hair on them. Most of the others are one way or the other still be short-haired. We've had them brought to the door. We've had them run in the door twice. Fancy was one of those. He just walked in. He wouldn't leave. Gray Ghost, which is my husband's one that goes into anaphylactic shock. You would not believe the cost of I mean, this is can be on an everyday basis. We've tried everything. While he was in the hospital, that kitten did not go into that once. It's really she's about over a year old, so she's not a kitten, but she didn't have any fits. And he got home, and again, she had fits. Just, I don't know why. I cannot put my finger on why that's happening. We changed her litter, we changed her dry food, her wet food, and she did not have any problem while he was gone. And I would just leave the door open to the upstairs areas and bring her downstairs and make sure she ate and all that. But I would come back in to find her gone, trudging upstairs. There she was on the pillow. We just don't know what was okay for 3 days, and we know she's not allergic to him, so we just don't know. We bought the pretty litter again and switched all that out, so we just can't figure it out. Basically, all the other cats eat differently. They have different litter. Basically they have the cheap stuff, and still we go through a ton of food a month. We go through $200 easily just on their food. So it's yeah. So at this point, it's become a thing. And again, I'm thinking about going on doing a GoFundMe because they need some forever homes. We have at least a dozen outside that were born 6 months or so ago, and now they are becoming adults. I've seen two of the adults come back that we found forever homes for in the neighborhood. So I think they're just letting them out at night. And they're coming for breakfast at 6 because I do breakfast for them literally at 6. My guys wake me up. I get up, I feed them, I go out and I feed the other ones. Then in the afternoons at 3 or 4 o'clock, we feed them again. It's still so expensive, even if it was just dry food, but we give them one can mixed up in the kibble to give them some nutritional value because they just stay so thin. And we worry that, even though we're trying to help, it could be hurting them. And so we make sure that they have a complete menu as much as can be done. I put in one can to give them some little bit of wet food and put the 12 little bowls out. And this is, like I said, twice a day. So you got to pick up all the bowls and put them in. Let's go wash all those. So, yeah, it's a bit of a chore. And I'm not getting any younger, unfortunately. And Robert, of course, never has had to go through that. I take care of that. It's kind of my fault in some ways because I just can't turn down anyone or anything that's hungry or that needs help. And basically, he's the same way, but he's a little bit more hard hearted than me. And again, we can't even take them to either kill shelter or a life shelter because the one won't take them because they're in this county, and this county is again a kill shelter. I think it's 48 hours. It's not long enough. It's just not. And the neighbor was trapping them and taking them, and it just broke my heart because he took them to the kill shelter. And then my husband talked to him and said, that you're killing them. And this was we could hear him screaming in the cages. They had the cages out there and trap them in the middle of the winter. Not give them food, water, nothing until they left and dropped them off. And we couldn't go over there. Both of us have systems, security systems, so we couldn't do that. My husband did that one time, and they were not happy. They had trapped a 6-week-old kitten, and they were doing nothing to help that. So he went over there, opened the cage, took the cat out. Luckily, he was okay with it. The wife, not so much. Turned out she was really goofy and had to be restrained most of the time. They divorced. He called her the crazy lady, and so did everybody else on the block. Poor thing. So if I give you a shout out later on, maybe this week, if I can sit still and take enough time to see what I have to do on a GoFundMe, I'll let y'all know. If there's those of you who are in Augusta who are interested in giving a cat a forever home, please private message me. I don't even care. Throw it in the chat. Comment. I don't care. Again, we ask you guys to, like, dislike, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. And again, I do not make money doing this yet. So that may be my next avenue. So until then, I see what time has come to me is nearly over. So adore you guys. Stay real. Don't let them tell you what you can think, what you can't think. Don't tell yourself that if you get up there and say the absolute truth, that makes you a racist. It doesn't. If it doesn't make the other people who are against you racist, it sure as hell shouldn't make us racist. And on that note, to bed.
So the next trick she's going to pull